Hey guys, I'm back with another process video. Now this one was originally meant to be for yikes. Okay, for the July Scrapathon. But I completely forgot about it. And it's now August 10th. So we are just going to it's August 6th today. Anyway, it's sometime in August and I'm just going to voice over finally and upload it on my channel so you guys can see. So for this one I wanted to do an A4 size page because I wasn't feeling the 12 by 12 for this picture. And I also wanted to use the Dear Lizzie Lovely Day collection because the picture has red, navy, and pink in it. So yeah, so I thought maybe I could use a big chunk of this paper here, and so I'm gonna kind of play around with that. Now the picture is a picture of like a DVD set we have of a show called I Love Lucy, which I think was back in the 50s, but we used to watch it a couple of years ago when I was younger, like every Friday night or something, and we all loved it. So I started kind of binge watching it on my own at some point, and then I just stopped. And I really like the show, so I should watch it more. But yeah, so I went through the 6x6 pattern, just kind of looking at some different colors. So I do have that navy paper down there, and I have a kind of ombre pink paper that I thought looked really nice, and I really like the look of that blue, the light blue paper as well. So I'm going to start just cutting some layers here. So first one I'm going to mat my photo in the blue colored paper. And then this word paper has some phrases like you're so cool, I'm not even mad, and I love your face, and stuff like that. And I thought it was really appropriate for this show because like the whole storyline is how kind of Lucy does stupid things. And well, I shouldn't say stupid things, but it's kind of like how Lucy gets these like weird crazy ideas, and then it just goes on, and like her husband and stuff and her neighbors. So yeah, and she does these really cool expressions. So anyway, I thought that would be a suitable pattern paper to add there. So I also cut a chunk of that yikes, I cannot speak today. Okay, the pink paper, and now I'm going through these chipboard pieces because I like the navy, and the word laugh and wild and free kind of worked, but I just couldn't make them work on this page, so they're going to go back into the set, and I will hopefully use them on something else. And I'm going through my die cut pack here, and I just pulling out some things. This is again from the Dear Lizzie Lovely Day collection, just pulling out a couple things that I thought might work on this page and just randomly sticking them on there. So yeah, I got a tag, got a camera, I got that piece that says oh hello, and I'm going to use all three of those. I'm just going to play around with where I want to place them. And here I decide to, what am I doing? Oh, I'm trimming down my picture to get rid of that white border that I hadn't gotten rid of already for some unknown reason. And yeah, and then I'm just gonna stick it back over top. So since I cut that mat is a lot larger, so I don't know if I'm gonna end up cutting it or not. I made this layout like maybe 2 months ago, so I'm sorry guys for this weird voiceover. Okay, so now, what is this? Oh, I'm going to back my photo on some foam, and I'm just using some like craft foam here that it's not adhesive or anything. I just had it from when we used to make puppets when I was a kid with the foam, and there's a lot left over, so I'm using that to back photos now. Okay, so then I kind of wanted to add something to the background. So what I'm going to do is mix some very dark turquoisey acrylic paint with plenty of white gesso because I wanted to get that light blue color. And I'm going to keep mixing things, and I'm also adding some iridescent something, and I saw it in my drawer and I thought, what the heck is that? I might as well try it. And you would think I would know that I had it. Again, it's part of the crafts things we had when we were kids. So we have this huge box of acrylics, and that was in it when I went through that box, so I thought I might as well try and use it. So this blue is way off, so what I'm going to do is cover it over with some white gesso. And that is a nicer, I keep adding gesso and gesso again and again, just to cover up that darker blue. And that is quite a nice shade of blue, but it just didn't match the blue that I wanted for the page. And also I kind of went a bit overboard with the paint, and it wasn't working. It was too distracting from the cluster. But I am going to save this page, and I actually stuck it in my July Scrapathon stash kit, the summer themed one, and I ended up using it as a layer behind something, and I actually really like how that looks. So you might have already seen that video. I think I used it on the layout that's called, I think it was a layout that was on day 11, and it's called Sweet or something like that. So yeah, just adhering some things. So this was before I ran out of my twist and glue. So that's why I'm using that as opposed to double-sided tape, which you've probably seen me using quite a lot lately. And then because the photo is popped up and I want this camera to overlap the photo, I'm also going to back parts of it with foam as well and just glue that down. So I was waiting for the background here to dry, which is why I'm kind of working on this cluster without a background. But yeah, I hadn't decided if I liked it or not yet. So then here I'm going through the die cuts again because I'm trying to just fill the cluster up a bit, and yeah, I'm not very successful at the die cuts. I think actually there might also be the cut up parts in here as well from the 6x6 paper pad that I just cut up as soon as I got the paper pad. So here the thing is dry, so I'm just going to move the cluster over, and see, it's not really working. So I'm just going to get rid of that and get another piece of white cardstock to use as my background. And I'm going to try mixed media again, but this time I'm going to use my Distress ink in tumbled glass because that would give a much softer look. Because I had used acrylic paint and I had scraped it on, so that by itself is quite bold, and the color wasn't right either. So that was mostly the problem. So now I'm gonna just do the packaging technique with the Distress ink and tumbled glass, which is a really light blue color, and that's not a perfect match either, but it works a lot better than the other option I had going on. So I'm going to fuss with some more die cuts again because I feel like the page is empty and I need something more. Yeah, I fussed with the die cuts a lot on this page. So yeah. And nothing is glued down here, by the way. So then I decided I'm just going to tuck the camera behind the photo because I didn't like it popped up. So I'm getting rid of the foam. So yeah, nothing's glued down nothing's glued down, I think. Because I wasn't really sure if I liked this or not at this point. So yeah, more fussing. Oh, here I brought in a tag because I needed something at the top there to fill in that weird gap I felt, which is why I keep going through things trying to figure out what to add there. So this is the Vicky Boutin die cut set. I think it's from the first collection she did with American Crafts. And yeah, I'm just flipping through it and I'm trying to see what I can stick up there. I don't know if I end up sticking anything up there. Let me just, oh yeah, I will find something eventually. It's not going to be that live today piece. I don't know why I didn't edit this out, guys. I'm sorry. It's a lot of me fussing. So then here, I'm kind of starting to build a cluster at the bottom there. And I want to bring in some of the same elements that I have going on in the top cluster. So I'm bringing in the blue with that banner that says my favorite. And then I'm going to also bring in a piece of this pink paper. So because I love that pink paper so much, I couldn't use up that whole piece since I wasn't going to be able to see it. So I just kind of cut it up so I could use multiple pieces and I could spare as much as I could. And now here I'm just taking up my time and just gluing everything down, which again, I don't know why I did not edit out, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm also going to add a piece of that pink heart paper in the bottom cluster. It's going to be a very, very small cluster. I just felt like I needed a little something down there as well. So now I'm starting to get annoyed because nothing's glued down, and everything's moving around. So I need to make a decision if I like this or not, and if I do, I need to glue it down. So yeah, and I'm going through my embellishment basket, and I'm just finding little bits and pieces that I think I might want to add. I don't think I end up adding an. I added an enamel dot. So I pulled that out, and then I'm also going to. I thought about using that flare, but the blue was not working again. And then I had this arrow piece that I found. I had some wood veneer going on, but it wasn't working. So I thought about adding some sequins on here, but they are not happening on this page. I just no. I don't have I have a very, very small selection of sequins that someone sent me, and I don't have like all the colors. So just the colors I had didn't work. I don't know if I had the right colors, if they would work on this page, but anyway. So still fussing with placing these. I don't know why I'm not gluing anything down. So I do decide that I'm gonna stick that Be Kind border square journaling spot up there. And before I glue everything down onto the page, I'm going to add a bit more paint down here where the secondary cluster is going to go. And then I'm also going to take out this iridescent, no, not going to do that yet, but I will do it in a bit. I am inking the page with the picked raspberry ink, just to bring in a bit of that hot pink that's in that tag and also kind of in the picture and on some die cuts and in the paper. So that's what I did. And now I'm going to get this iridescent medium, apparently, from Reeves. I don't know if that's how that's pronounced, but I'm just going to scrape it on, and it just gives a shimmer to the page. It's just glitter. I think it's like a glitter paste. It's kind of silvery, but if you mix it into a paint like you're supposed to, then I think it's just shimmery. But if you just add it onto the page like this, it kind of has a silver tone. I mean, you can't really see it on camera, but yeah. So now I think I finally glued everything down, and I thought about adding some of these buttons because I took the photo holding it over a hardwood floor, so there's some like a wood grain print in the picture, so I thought maybe these buttons could bring in that wood grain a bit. And looking at it now, I do kind of like them on there, but at that point I decided that they were not working, so I'm not going to use those. And I also thought that maybe I could bring in some wood veneer somehow. Okay, so I still haven't glued down everything apparently. Okay, and now I'm going to add one enamel dot in that kind of navy bluish, royal bluish, I don't know what to call it, some kind of blue from the Little by Little collection by Chamel. And that's just going to complete that down there, because now I have the dark blue, the light blue, and the pink in that cluster. And I thought about using those enamel dots elsewhere on the page, but they weren't working. So I am going to finally glue this cluster down. So yeah, I will have pictures over on Instagram if anybody's interested. I'm not going to be adding pictures to the end of my videos anymore. For the time being, so well, for the foreseeable future. So yeah, you can check it over on Instagram if you're interested. And now I'm going to add my journaling, and I'm using a Staedtler pigment liner in the 0.05 tip, and then I'm going to outline the whole page with a Staedtler pigment liner in, I think it's probably the 0.3 tip, which I'll do here in a second. There we go. And I'm going to do a double border because I don't know, for some reason I always feel like an A4 size page needs a border. I don't know why, but yeah. And then I also gonna doodle some hearts, some stars actually. Just because I have this thing that I need to have the pen I use for journaling elsewhere other than journaling. So yeah. And now I took Mermaid Lagoon to do my splatter because I know it's going to dry lighter than it looks, and I want the splatter to be distinct, so I used the Distress ink in Mermaid Lagoon and a paintbrush. So that's going to complete the layout. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.